Now, a special 2-part edition of 48 Hours.
The mountains were absolutely amazing. We would fly down the water line, and it was just gorgeous. You could see glaciers. It was great. Never saw anything like it.
Alaska is big. It's cold. It's brutal. It's unforgiving. It's also the place where bad people come to get away. We have a lot of cases up here dealing with a lot of wackadoos, and this is one of them.
This case is about money, it's about power, it's about greed, it's about sex.
Kent Lepink was found lying on his back. His legs were crossed. The victim in this case was shot 3 times. And this was a very personal crime.
He was fun, he was energetic, he was adventurous, he was full of the old gee whiz. And he said, "Mom, I've met the most wonderful girl in the world. I have fallen in love. Her name is Michelle Hughes."
Michelle was a stripper who worked at the Alaska Bush Company. And that's where she basically stalked her prey.
It was work, and that's all it was. I thought I could do it and save up enough money just for school.
Kent proposed to Michelle about a month after he met her, and she accepted. 10 days after that, she got engaged to Scott Hilke. Several months later, John Carlin III came along. She was engaged to him.
And she just overwhelmed these men. They were sucked in.
Kent Lepink ends up dead as a result of his relationship with Michelle.
Michelle Hughes went on to become Michelle Linehan.
Michelle's such a charming woman. I introduced her to most all of my friends, and all of my friends were so very impressed with her as well.
She became a mom, moved to Washington, and she became a woman with a master's degree.
I continued to go to school. I was very active in my daughter's school and our church.
Married to a doctor with an 8-year-old daughter, somebody who both gave back to the community and was a volunteer in all sorts of organizations.
I knew that she had been in Alaska. I didn't know there was any trouble in her past.
There's no doubt in my mind that John Carlin III and Michelle acted together to kill Kent Lepink.
There's no DNA, there's no hard evidence. There's nothing that irrefutably links Michelle or John to the murder of Kent Lepink.
And I did not kill Kent Lepink. I can look at right, Mr. Lepink, I did not kill your son.
This is the strangest case I've ever worked on. I haven't even heard of a case this weird.
Since we aired this story, the whole nature of this case has changed, and so has the outcome, with some stunning new developments. But when it all began, Michelle Linehan found herself the focus of a complex murder investigation.
I just feel like there's nothing I can do to make people believe me or make people like me. It hurts me that the family would think that I did it.
Michelle is a chameleon. She's going to portray to other people what she thinks is in her best interest. The evidence is going to show that she is a conniving witch.
Yeah, well, the witch I might be, but a psychopath, clearly I'm not.
I'm Susan Spencer. Tonight on 48 Hours, Love and Death in Alaska.
lot of my customers are really lonely. It's sad, but it's true. When you're a stripper, you have 50 boyfriends a night. You do, and that's just the way it is.
Tina Brady ought to know. Over more than 15 years, she's seen a lot of men pass through the Great Alaskan Bush Company.
Try wearing these to PTA.
But she remembers a time when they all seemed to go after one particular woman.
Michelle, to me, was a really hot showgirl.
Michelle Hughes.
She was gorgeous. One of our top girls. I mean, when she danced, I always wanted to know her secret because I know she had one.
Michelle Hughes came here because she wanted to make big money.
Reporter Megan Holland, formerly of the Anchorage Daily News, has been covering this story, and she says Michelle did what she set out to do.
She was making $1,000 to $3,000 a night.
But that was then. A decade later, Michelle was living near Seattle with her master's degree, physician husband, and daughter.
We like to cook together as a family. It's loud and it's a busy house, and I love it.
She's definitely one of the most fair-minded, generous people. She always had good words of wisdom.
Pals like Christina Hermack say the Michelle they know fits right in.
The person that she is now and has been for the last 7 years is a wonderful woman.
Certainly, the woman she is now bears little resemblance to the starry-eyed 18-year-old girl who left Louisiana for New York to work in a modeling agency. In 1994, Michelle headed further north. She'd been dancing at the Great Alaskan Bush Company only a few months when a shy 35-year-old fisherman walked in the door. His name was Kent Leppink.
Kent's 6'4", and he always dressed cowboy boots, big hat.
According to his parents, Betsy and Ken, he had always had an impulsive streak.
He lived right on the edge all the time.
And sometimes he lost his footing. He'd been in trouble, caught skimming money from the family business in Michigan. They'd hoped Alaska would be a new start.
He worked on a boat that picks the fish up and takes them to the fisheries. He really loved what he was doing, and I thought that was neat.
Kent also saw it as a break from his past. And when he met Michelle Hughes, he thought he had found his future.
He seemed to be head over heels in love with this woman.
Oh, yes, very much so.
Yeah.
So much so that he'd proposed after just a month.
I think he truly wanted to marry her.
They'd even talked about going into business together.
He just worshipped her. He did not tell us she was a dancer.
A fact left out when Ken and Betsy Leppink had met Michelle in Anchorage. They were underwhelmed anyway.
She would kind of pull back a bit physically when he'd put his arm around her. It's hard for a mother to be that honest, but she didn't love him like he loved her.
Did you have any sense that there were any other men in this woman's life?
No, none. Well, I was suspicious.
Ah, a mother's intuition.
I've never met anyone like Michelle Hughes in my life, and I've not met anyone like that since.
When traveling salesman Scott Hilke met her at the club late in 1994, he fell hard too.
You fell in love with this woman?
I did. I was in love with her, yes.
Hilke says he soon asked Michelle to marry him, becoming another fiancé.
Did you, at the time you proposed, did you have a clue that Kent Leppink had proposed to Michelle and that she had accepted his proposal?
No clue whatsoever.
He's telling his parents that he's met the love of his life.
I told my parents the same thing.
And then there was John Carlin.
I mean, she brings out a charm that just, it's like a magnet. It makes you feel good.
Carlin had just lost his wife to cancer and was raising his teenage son alone. He wandered into the club in the summer of 1995.
She's mesmerizing. She really should have gone to Hollywood.
By the time he discovered she was seeing other men, he was in too deep to care.
I was in love with her. So I said, what the heck?
Carlin professed his love, and around Christmas of 1995 says he popped the question. So, are you still with us here? It is mind-boggling, but prosecutors say that over an 18-month period, Michelle did have 3 fiancés, or at least 3 guys who seemed to think they were her fiancés. Even more confusing, for part of that time, she lived in the same house with 2 of them, though not always the same 2. So everybody's kind of in and out of this house?
Yeah, that is correct.
How does this happen?
I have no clue.
They became entangled in this bizarre, wasn't even a love triangle, it was like a love hexagon.
What is it about this woman?
I think she outsmarts most people that she gets involved with. I think that she reads the situation, figures out how to recreate her personality in such a way that she will profit from that.
And profit she did from every boyfriend.
She got lots of jewelry, she got lots of furs.
Not to mention car payments, house repairs, diamonds, all went on the tab.
A lot of regulars buy you gifts. Michelle did not do anything differently than any other dancer.
After work one day, Tina reminded us that Michelle's fiancés also were her customers. And they were all at least 10 years older than she was.
I don't think that she had any intent on marrying anyone.
Tina says Michelle was just playing the game.
Michelle had a way. She had a way of going, love me, and love me till 2:30, and then at 2:30 I'm going home.
Scott Hilke finally got the message.
We were planning on a year engagement, and that year came and went.
By late 1995, he had had it.
We didn't get married, and it was obvious at that point that we weren't going to.
Though he and Michelle would still see one another on and off, he left Alaska, which only made John Carlin turn up the heat.
Our relationship started to go into full bloom when she broke up with Scott.
Remember Kent Leppink? Well, his mother says he was telling his family to get ready for a wedding. Did you assume they would get married?
Yes, yes.
On a trip to Anchorage in the spring of 1996, his dad says he was expecting to see his future daughter-in-law.
She was supposed to meet with us, and we were trying to get a date set. They kept changing dates.
But he says by the time he got there, Michelle was mysteriously missing. Kent was mortified.
And he was just kind of beside himself because she didn't appear on the scene and I had come up there and all this.
Upset, Kent's dad says he went back to Michigan, not realizing that within hours of his departure, Kent had mailed his parents a letter so alarming that when they got it, they immediately called, but they failed to reach him.
Actually, it was a letter inside a letter. And the first letter asked us not to read the second letter unless something happened to him.
Something already had. Kent Leppink's body was found off this deserted road 90 miles south of Anchorage on May 2nd, 1996, the day the letter arrived. He'd been shot 3 times, point blank. There were shell casings near his body, but no murder weapon to be found.
It was about 5 o'clock on a Saturday morning. Our son Ransom and his wife were banging on our door, and the sheriff had gone to their house. Yeah, it was a terrible, terrible, terrible moment. Whew, hell.
And in that same awful moment, the Leppinks remembered that second letter.
We had a letter from the victim saying, if I'm dead, this is who killed me.
really did pick a remote spot. This is in the middle of nothing. 49-year-old Detective Linda Branchflower has been down this remote road before.
There was an electrical crew that was coming up to check the radar station, which is
Many times, in fact, since the veteran cop started investigating the Kent Lepping murder case.
We thought it was a workable case because there were suspects that were clearly developed.
The isolated road is near Hope, Alaska, some 90 miles south of Anchorage.
The driver looked up this road and he saw something red in the trail, and that's when he discovered Kent Lepping's body.
Do you think for 1 second that they thought that his body ever would be found?
I think they thought if it was found, it wouldn't be found anytime soon, and it wouldn't be found intact. And they probably thought that if bears got to the body, that evidence of murder would be gone.
As it was impossible to determine an exact time of death, only that it had been within a day or two.
Well, we got 3 evidence items listed.
Steve DeHart was among the first investigators to get to the crime scene.
The empty .44 Magnum casing found at the crime scene in Hope, Alaska.
He never imagined for a second that the victim himself would provide even more critical clues.
There was a letter to his parents.
Actually, remember, there were 2 letters, one inside the other.
Put in your safe deposit box.
If you think anything fishy has happened to me, then you can open up the other envelope.
They say they agonized, but in the end honored Kent's wishes.
I was going to just open the other letter, and then I thought, no.
What did you think when you get this first one that says, you know, don't open the second one unless something terrible happens to me?
Absolutely scared to pieces.
Scared and confused, which made the devastating news of Kent's death even harder to bear.
Oh, it's the most painful thing that's ever happened to us. First thing we did was open the second letter. It was terrible. It was really terrible.
For in that second letter, Kent seems to solve his own murder.
Michelle, John, or Scott were the people or persons that probably killed me. Do me another favor. Make sure Michelle goes to jail for a long time.
Everything was happening so fast that, yeah.
So what could I have done to have kept him alive? And there are not answers for that. There just aren't answers for that.
The letters gave police at the time 3 ready-made suspects.
I hate to be vindictive in my death, but paybacks are hell.
Michelle and her 2 remaining suitors, John Carlin.
The letter Kent mailed to his parents narrowed their scope of investigation.
And Scott Hilke.
I was surprised that, there was any suspicion thrown on me.
Surprised, Hilke says, because he was in Lake Tahoe, thousands of miles away. Though they'd broken up, Michelle had asked him to meet her there. He now thinks the timing was no accident.
Her intent was to be out of the state when anything bad that was going to happen happened. I believe now that I was used as an alibi.
For the record, did you shoot Kent Lepping?
No, I did not.
He may sound like he means it, but Hilke failed a polygraph on that one all-important question.
Did you fire the shots fatal to him?
No.
Your overall score indicated that you were deceptive and that you were most deceptive when asked, did you shoot Kent Lepping?
I think that's interesting because obviously I wasn't there and obviously I didn't do it.
Polygraphs, sometimes are helpful, but they're just a tool. And sometimes they are absolutely wrong.
Investigators came to believe this one was wrong. Although they never checked all the airline and phone records, they nonetheless decided that Hilke, in fact, had not been in Alaska. Michelle, however, had flown back the night before Kent was found.
Well, we're not going to mess around with it anymore.
A day later, police interviewed her.
He's dead. We don't know. We can tell you that he had a violent death.
She begins to sob.
When did it happen?
We don't even know that for sure.
Later, through tears, she tells them that Kent did own a gun.
He's got a handgun, a big gun. I consider it too big.
She also told them something else, in their minds the most incriminating fact of all. There was a $1 million insurance policy on Kent's life.
Nobody buys a life insurance policy for a wedding gift.
Investigators say that's exactly what Michelle had done, paying for the policy herself and naming, guess who, as the main beneficiary.
It was insane. I was afraid, and I told him that. He said, Mom, I'm a big boy.
But even Kent had second thoughts. A clue at the crime scene proved it.
What exactly was found on the body itself?
Well, his wallet was on his body. He had jewelry. His watch and necklace were on his body. Also, he had a change of beneficiary form.
And this is a change of beneficiary form from New York Life.
After days of indecision, Kent had taken Michelle off the policy completely. But if she didn't know that, then the $1 million could be a million motives.
Kent had no more money. His only value would be a life insurance policy.
If Michelle had a motive, did she perhaps also have help? To police, a mysterious note found days later in Kent's car.
Well, it's become known as the Hope Note, has the name John typed there at the bottom.
Hinted at a conspiracy with John Carlin.
What exactly is the Hope Note?
He indicates in the note that he purchased this cabin for her in Hope, Alaska.
And what about this cabin in Hope?
There is none.
So they just invented this?
Yes, they made it up.
But the cabin sounds very real in the typed note. A hoax made to look like a genuine exchange between Carlin and Michelle, and meant for Kent to find. Carlin writes he's fixed the roof, cleaned the fireplace. You guys enjoy your stay, he says, making it sound like Michelle won't be alone that weekend. She scrawls back, great, please don't let anyone know where we're at. Love you, and thanks again.
Prosecutors say the note was meant to lure Kent to Hope in search of Michelle, who actually was in Lake Tahoe with Scott Hilke.
The note worked at least once. A few days before his murder, a distraught Kent drove to Hope. Cafe owner Maria Motoyama remembers meeting him.
He came in and showed a picture of a blonde girl and wanted to know if we had seen her in town, and said she was his fiancée.
Frustrated, Kent returned to Anchorage, only to be found dead back in Hope a few days later. No proof how he got there or who killed him. Investigators had no witnesses, no murder weapon, no direct evidence. Over time, officers were transferred out of the area. The investigation stalled.
They had the life insurance policy.
Yes.
They had Kent LePink's letters to his parents predicting that if something happened to him, these would be the people who would have done it.
Yes.
And yet, no charges.
No charges.
Scott Hilke already was living in California. Carlin and Michelle were free to leave Alaska, and separately, each soon did.
It appeared to me like maybe it would never get solved.
Michelle finally settled in Washington, neatly shedding her past.
I did a lot of volunteer work in our community from the beginning when we got there. I continued to go to school.
And for 8 long years, Alaska seemed forgotten. Then one day, detectives knocked on the door of her neat suburban home.
They asked for clarification on certain statements I had made in the past, so I tried to help them as much as I could. I was just shocked by it, and I was just really shaken up. I think that it's a normal progression of life that you You have a job, you go to school, you get married, you might have a family. And I think that's where my life went.
Meet Michelle Lenahan, formerly exotic dancing star Michelle Hughes.
And they told me to apply in person. And we walked in, and there was this woman on stage, and I just stood there, and my jaw dropped. And it was the first time I had ever been in a place like that.
At the Great Alaskan Bush Company, Michelle caught on fast. But she insists she always saw stripping as just a means to an end.
I would go to work, and I kept my goal in mind. My goal was to make money and leave.
And leave she did. Just months after Kent Lepping's murder, Michelle left Alaska for good, eventually settling in Olympia, Washington.
I went to school full-time.
And talk about reinventing yourself.
I studied biology and psychology, and I got a master's in public administration.
In 1998, in New Orleans, she married a young doctor named Colin Lenahan, just a day after he graduated med school.
I'm not a big believer in love at first sight, but it's probably as close as you can get.
A year later, they had a daughter.
I've known this woman for 10 years. I catch myself just, wow, she's amazing, and her daughter, our daughter, adores her.
Their life together in Olympia, Michelle says, was the very definition of normal.
We have pizza night. The neighbors come over, and they bring their kids, and we have just lots of dough and cheese everywhere. It's a mess, and I love it.
In 2004, Colin served an army tour in Iraq. And for a year, Michelle was a single mother, but she had a strong network of friends.
Michelle's beautiful on the inside as she is on the out.
Michelle's close friend, Christina Hermack.
Michelle's vivacious and friendly, intelligent and witty.
Michelle is a lethal chameleon, if there is such a thing.
Detective Linda Branchflower says be careful. Michelle's whole life is a facade.
She can change herself to fit any situation and play any role. She's deadly.
She came to that conclusion in 2004, soon after joining Alaska's new cold case unit. Investigators quickly made the 8-year-old Lepping murder a top priority.
Did you really look for any other suspects when you started probing this again?
We went where the evidence led us, and we didn't find anything in our investigation to indicate anybody else could have done it.
I honestly thought it had gone away.
It soon did go away for Scott Hilke.
Did you fire the shots fatal to him?
Who was ruled out despite that failed polygraph.
We did try to investigate whether or not Hilke knew that the murder was going to take place, and there was nothing to indicate that at all.
Branchflower badly needed a break, and on a pair of old computers seized in the original investigation, she found it. Many of the emails had been deleted back then, but
with the technology that we had in 2004, we were able to do a lot more with the computers.
What exactly did you find on this computer?
Well, they were able to pull up emails between Kent and Michelle, Michelle and Carlin, Michelle and Hilke, that indicate different things of their relationship.
Scores of emails, some silly, some meaningless, but very interesting to investigators. In an exchange between Michelle and Kent, you should not be concerned about John. He's more a brother or even a father to me. But in an email to Carlin, you are the most important thing in my life. I need you more than you ever will know.
First of all, they show how manipulative she is being.
Special cold case prosecutor Pat Gullifson.
That she is saying one thing to one person, another thing to another person.
But manipulation and murder are two different things.
Is there any specific evidence in those emails that connects Michelle to Kent Lepping's death?
I think you come real close with the Seychelles email.
The so-called Seychelles email was sent from Michelle to Carlin just days before the murder. It seems to suggest that the tiny island chain off the African coast just might be a safe haven from the law. Did you know that you can buy a citizenship in the Seychelles for around 10 mil, she asks. No matter what crimes you have committed, they will not extradite.
It's the whole idea that she's talking about not being extradited. When you start putting that together with the rest of the evidence, it's pretty strong that there's something going on there that extradition is important to.
Investigators decided the emails were a very good start, but not strong enough to make a solid case in court. They needed the missing murder weapon. They knew from markings on the bullets it was an unusual gun.
This is a .44 caliber Desert Eagle. This is the same type of gun that was used in the murder of Kent Leppink.
Wow.
With a 6-inch barrel. It's very heavy.
It is heavy. Heavy, cumbersome, and hard to shoot. Jeez. John Carlin consistently denied ever owning one. Branch Flowers shot his story full of holes with information from an unlikely source. Carlin's own son. He'd been only 17, a juvenile at the time of the crime.
His father wouldn't let us talk to him, was now an adult.
Confronted by police in 2005, Carlin's now adult son decided to talk. Where did this Desert Eagle come from?
My father bought it out of a newspaper.
So what, he saw an ad or something?
Mm-hmm. The classifieds, yes.
He was able to provide the link between his dad and the Desert Eagle.
Branch Flower not only dug up the old ad, she found the seller, one David Stilchin.
And I put the gun up for sale, and the first person that called me was John Carlin, and that's who bought the gun from me.
But Carlin's son kept talking about what he'd seen just days after the murder.
I came into the house. Michelle was standing in the doorway of the bathroom. My father was there as well. And the gun was in the sink and was soaking in some sort of chemical.
At the time, Carlin's son couldn't be sure if it was a Desert Eagle. Did anybody offer an explanation as to what they were doing with this gun?
No.
What did it look like he was doing?
Looked like he was cleaning a gun.
And to this day, he is unsure about the implications of what he saw. Who do you think killed Kent Leppink?
I lean towards a party yet to be discovered.
You don't think your father had anything to do with it?
No.
You don't think Michelle Hughes had anything to do with it?
I didn't say that.
But Branch Flower had no doubts. She was sure that Carlin Sr. did have a role in the murder, and she was just as sure that he had not done it alone.
I think she's got some explaining to do.
Branch Flower headed for Seattle with some tough questions for Michelle Linehan.
When she would ask me a question, I would answer it and the best that I could, and I felt like she was just so combative with me.
Michelle says from the first time the police questioned her in the days after the murder, she always cooperated fully.
I told them about the life insurance policy.
Do you know if anybody has anything to gain from Kent's death?
No, other than life insurance.
Life insurance?
Me, yeah.
And it wasn't just the life insurance policy. She also told them about the note that she and Carlin had written about that fictitious cabin in Hope.
John told you that, the letter that we wrote.
What letter is
about
it?
the cabin in Hope.
Investigators dismiss all this initial cooperation as Michelle just trying to cover all the bases. Michelle says, well, they would say that. They have never listened. When were you aware then, oh my God, they think I did this?
When they were leaving, I asked them to keep me informed of what was happening. And Linda Branch Flowers said that I would be informed that I was going to be indicted.
In the fall of 2006, a decade after the crime, Michelle Lenahan and John Carlin were indicted for the murder of Kent Lepink.
They're both charged with murder in the first degree.
Michelle posted bail and was free to return to her family in Washington.
I just feel like there's nothing I can do to make people believe me.
John Carlin echoes her complaint.
I didn't do it, bottom line.
But unlike Michelle, he would spend the next 6 months under arrest.
The day before his body was found, what were you doing?
Well, that's the big question, isn't it?
Carlin remains an enigma until the very day his trial begins.
Please rise. Superior Court for the State of Alaska, 3rd Judicial District is now in session.
Mr. Gullifson?
Prosecutor Pat Gullifson tells the jury
May it please the court.
this was, in effect, an execution.
Kent Lepink was found dead. He had been shot 3 times.
He is intentionally vague as to whether Carlin pulled the trigger or just pulled the strings, with Michelle firing the shots. Under Alaska law, Carlin can be convicted either way.
It's a story that's going to involve passion, greed, manipulation, and deception.
A story made all the more tragic, Betsy Lepink says, because Kent wrote the ending himself.
Do you recall when you were notified that Kent had been found dead? Do you recall the day?
I believe it was a Saturday morning.
Did you then open the sealed portion of the letter?
Yes, we did.
This is in part what it contains. Michelle, John, and Scott were the people or persons that probably killed me. Make sure they get burned.
Even though Kent named John Carlin as one of his probable killers, his lawyers, Marcy McDaniel and Sidney Billingsley,
Whatever's most convenient for you.
think they can win this circumstantial case.
Are you absolutely convinced that John Carlin is innocent?
I believe him.
The defense tries to cast suspicion on anyone but John Carlin.
Let's talk about Scott Hilke.
They ignored Scott Hilke's potential involvement altogether.
They even offer up Carlin's then teenaged son, suggesting he could have had a relationship with Michelle.
If he's an infatuated 17-year-old and she's got her hooks in him too.
Trying to discredit him before he takes the stand with his story of the gun washing.
He would have every reason to lie if he did it. The police had him as a suspect.
But the defense's chief suspect is Michelle herself.
I think Michelle did this. She lost it, and she shot him.
His lawyers pointed the finger at Michelle and said that she was a manipulative seductress, an evil woman who committed the crime herself, that John had nothing to do with it, and that she just used him as a scapegoat. She pulled the trigger and killed him for the $1 million life insurance policy.
What you will not be able to eliminate, and what the state will never be able to disprove, is that Michelle herself, the center of everything, the hub of the wheel, acted alone.
It's just that I'm sitting here on trial for my life, and they're not talking about me.
So let's look again at Michelle Hughes.
Talking about her.
Carlin says both sides were so focused on Michelle, he felt like an afterthought at his own trial.
One day I sat there all day long, and all they did was talk about Michelle. I mean, I didn't even have to be there that day.
She is back home in Olympia, awaiting her trial. But Prosecutor Gullifson insists none of this would have happened without her.
John Carlin was in love with Michelle. He had spent a great deal of money on Michelle.
With twin motives of love and money, all the two needed, he says, was a plan. Enter that phony hope note.
Mr. Carlin and Michelle Hughes had fabricated a note and left it for Mr. Lepink to find in the house.
Kent believed that Michelle was in Hope. In those days right before his death, he was obsessed with finding her.
The note would lure a jealous Kent to Hope, the prosecutor says, where Michelle or Carlin would kill him.
The Hope Note is so strange.
It's pretty astounding. Here they are purposely delivering a message to Kent in the form of this note that Carlin has bought her a cabin in Hope. Not only that, but that Michelle is there with somebody.
Wrong, says Carlin. It was just a prank to mislead Kent, nicknamed TT, so Michelle would be free of him on her trip to see Hilke. Carlin says he didn't really want her to go, but he desperately wanted to please her.
I wrote the note. I know what I wrote the note for, and it wasn't to get TT out of the house. It wasn't to get TT down to Hope.
You've never had a cabin in Hope?
No. The note just allowed her to go down to be with Scott.
Carlin's problem, of course, is that Kent Leppink's body turned up in Hope.
I suspected that Carlin was involved.
And given Michelle's grip on the men in her life, Scott Hilke isn't surprised.
There is an amazing pull there.
And Hilke says Kent Leppink never could see that Michelle was using him.
I think he followed her around like a puppy dog. I think he was certainly willing to do anything for her that would ingratiate or strengthen his relationship with her, no question about it.
When she wasn't with her boyfriends in person, Hilke says, Michelle was always on email.
We would call Linda Branchflower to the stand.
Emails, which, according to Linda Branchflower, prove that John Carlin in particular would have done a lot more for Michelle than just write the Hope Note.
The most beautiful person in the world, the one I have fallen in love with, the one I would do anything in the world for, including giving up my life.
Anything, including murder, Branchflower says. Why else does Michelle write the Seychelles email, helpfully explaining that for $10 million, the islands are a safe haven from the law?
She just thought you'd find that interesting.
Did you think I was going to go there and pay $10 million to get a citizenship in the Seychelles off a $1 million life insurance policy?
No answer from Carlin to Michelle ever was found. But for Branchflower, the Seychelles email helped clinch the case.
So you figured when you came across the Seychelles email, I mean, you thought that this is really...
This is good.
This is good. This is very...
Very good.
But the defense stresses that most of the emails are ambiguous, or even make Carlin's case for him, showing that he and Kent were close. I value my friendships more than I value most things, Kent wrote. Thanks for being a friend.
This is one of the best defense cases I've seen in a very long time. There's a lot of reasonable doubt in this case.
But the defense is about to run up against a potentially devastating witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. Our next witness will be John Carlin, the fourth.
Taking the stand to testify against his own father.
Are you nervous?
A bit.
Who reluctantly drops his bombshell on the jury and on his dad.
Do you remember seeing a pistol in the sink?
Yes.
And describe what you remember about that.
I remember coming around the corner and seeing Michelle and my father, and there was a firearm in the sink, and the sink was about half full of a clear liquid.
He didn't really want to rat on his dad, but he, was just, he didn't want to carry this anymore.
Could you smell anything that you associated with the liquid?
I did smell bleach. I felt like I was betraying my father. I felt like I was betraying myself.
So much so that he went to visit his father in jail just a few days later.
He's doing good. I just kind of gave him a nod, and it was strange. He's feeling real confident, so, we're hoping that he'll be walking out the door and heading to the airport by the end of the month.
Apparently, Carlin didn't fully understand the impact of his testimony on his father's case.
John Carlin III's lawyers offered no explanation as to why their client might have been washing a handgun after the murder.
He shot my son. I know he did. I just know with all my heart he did.
I didn't mastermind this slaying. I thought it was over. One way or another, it was over.
This is the strangest case I've ever worked on.
This special two-part edition of 48 Hours will continue. This special two-part edition of 48 Hours continues.
This is a story about a well-to-do Michigan man who came to Alaska looking for a new life and instead found disappointment, obsession, financial loss, and he ended up dead. The question is, did the woman he was obsessed with, the exotic dancer, kill him? Did the exotic dancer's friend kill him for the benefit of the exotic dancer? There were a lot of unanswered questions, so the case went cold. She became a woman with a master's degree in public administration, married to a doctor with an 8-year-old daughter. Fast forward to 2004, the Alaska State Troopers set up a cold case unit. It's one of their first cases. The exotic dancer and her friend are charged with his murder.
I always cooperated with the police. I never felt that I was a suspect. They never told me I was a suspect. I did not kill Kent LaPink.
But it's hard to know whether they actually did it or not. There's no evidence that directly links them to Kent LaPink's murder. So who really did kill Kent LaPink?
For months, reporter Megan Holland, formerly of the Anchorage Daily News, had been trying to answer that question.
This has more elements, more characters, more avenues, more interesting people involved than any case I've ever heard of.
Love and death in Alaska. 48 Hours continues. Kent LaPink was shot to death in the Alaskan wilderness. After a decade, the woman he'd hoped to marry, Michelle Linehan, and another of her admirers, John Carlin, were charged with Kent's murder.
Let's talk for a minute about handguns.
Carlin's trial was first. Prosecutor Gullifson singled him out as the shooter, manipulated by Linehan into killing Kent for the insurance.
Kent's death is what Michelle wants, and John was willing to make it happen.
With Michelle out of town, he says, Carlin took Kent to Hope.
And that's when the Desert Eagle comes out, ready to go, and that's when Kent initially gets it in the back, turns around, falls down, gets it in the stomach, and then gets it in the face.
That is not at all how the defense sees things.
John Carlin, in this case, ladies and gentlemen, is just the man that cleans up Michelle's messes.
If Carlin later helped wash a gun, his lawyer says, well, he was just cleaning up another of Michelle's messes. Kent's parents don't buy it.
He shot my son. I know he did. I just know with all my heart he did.
But will the jury agree?
The whole trial became quite emotional. And then when you sit a day and wait for the jury to come back, whew, that was an awful long day.
Please rise. Superior Court for the State of Alaska, Third Judicial District.
And waiting almost 4 days for a decision feels like forever.
We, the jury, find the defendant, John Carlin III, guilty of murder in the first degree as charged in the indictment.
I bawled.
Couldn't believe it. Numb, shock, maybe
Still do.
several days of shock.
Hello?
Hey, is this John?
Yeah.
It's Megan Holland with the Daily News in Anchorage.
Waiting by the phone in Seattle, John Carlin's son. His testimony helped convict his own father.
Have you heard?
No.
Are you sitting down?
Just tell me.
Guilty.
Okay. Thank you.
And it was a killing that was cold, and it was calculated, and it was cruel.
At sentencing,
I believe that a maximum sentence is warranted. Sentence Mr. Carlin to serve 99 years in prison.
Carlin gets the maximum, 99 years in prison, not even eligible for parole until 2041.
God bless you. God bless Alaska.
Back in Olympia, Michelle's friends are struggling to accept that the church-going PTA mom, entrepreneur, and devoted wife they know had such a colorful past.
Is it possible in your mind that she had anything at all to do with this man's death?
No, it's not possible that she did what they say she did.
She's told me the whole story from the get-go.
Including her husband Colin Lenahan says all about her job as star stripper at the Great Alaskan Bush Company.
Her whole goal was to save up money for college, and it was something that I could definitely respect. She had absolutely no intention of doing that for the rest of her life.
As for all those boyfriend fiancés,
You know, I didn't really ask any probing questions. I understood that she had relationships with all three of them at one point in time.
You have 3 men close to 40 years old who are frequenting a topless bar, all trying to find a 21, 22-year-old to get married to.
And they all thought they had.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see how having 3 fiancés, if you will, in an 18-month period, all of them older men, at times 2 of them living in the same house, and you're meanwhile getting money, gifts, etc. from them. I mean, to the average person, that might look like a scam.
Anybody else that knew me or worked with us didn't feel that way.
she says she never asked the men in her life for more than they already wanted to give.
Did John Carlin ask you to marry him?
Yes.
And you said what?
No.
So John Carlin was never a fiancé?
No.
Kent Leppink thought he was, but he wasn't.
Kent Leppink never thought he was.
But prosecutors say a message to Kent suggests he had every reason to think he was very much in the picture. My darling Kent, Michelle writes, if you still want to marry me, we should just go and do it. We should get married within the next month. We should just do it and start our life.
But he definitely was not.
He was not.
Regardless of what he told anybody else.
Right.
And Scott Hilke definitely was.
Definitely was.
For a while.
About a year.
Yeah, and then he wasn't.
Yes.
They were all infatuated, but Michelle says she truly loved only Hilke. Carlin was like a big brother, and Kent became a bother. He'd been obsessively collecting information about her. Social security number, credit cards, phone bills. He was even reading her emails and tracking her every move.
Were you afraid of him?
I think I had become afraid of him toward that time.
Did he have any reason to be afraid of you?
No.
She only pretended to be engaged to get Kent off the hook with his parents, she says, because TT, as Kent was called, was hiding a painful secret.
I think TT was gay. I think that he wanted a life that was a normal life. He could never tell his family he was gay.
Dear friend Steve.
Kent's mother insisted they wouldn't have cared for a second, but that in fact, Kent was not gay. But Michelle's lawyer, Kevin Fitzgerald, says his behavior kept everyone guessing about a lot.
Kent LePink was an odd guy. I mean, a very odd guy. I don't think, and frankly, I think in the period of April 1996, I don't think he was well mentally.
Fitzgerald says Kent's mental state explains much of the evidence, including those eerie letters home.
I mean, is he going to say, hey, I've been lying extensively to you guys for a year and a half about the true nature of this relationship? Or is it easier for him to say, Michelle's a bad person, and she's involved in kind of with other bad people? I don't know. I think that's a pretty convenient out for him. If you look at the content of the letters themselves, there is nothing to suggest that he's aware of any plan to kill him.
So it's just a coincidence that 5 days later he's dead.
So yeah, I think in this case it is a coincidence, that the timing of it, definitely.
Fitzgerald dismisses the emails as well.
And what I don't see in those emails is I don't say, go forth and kill Kent LePink. So when I hear people say, well, the emails were, powerful, I say, how?
Even the email in which Michelle tells Carlin the Seychelles are a safe haven, no matter what the crime.
If you were contemplating a murder, would you have put something like that in that would be so, in hindsight, so incriminatory? I mean, that would be nuts.
Same goes for the Hope note about that non-existent cabin. He says the setup was all John Carlin Sr.'s idea to get rid of a rival.
I think what happened is he said, you want to find Michelle? I'll show you where she is. And I think he went out there with Senior. And I think Senior killed him in Hope. I don't think Michelle was part of that.
But surprisingly, Michelle herself lets Carlin off the hook.
I have a hard time thinking that John did it.
Is there any possibility, do you think, that he did it thinking he was doing you a favor? I mean, he was completely infatuated with you. And could that be the case?
I don't know.
Because you didn't do this.
No.
And you didn't know about it. And you didn't plan it.
No.
You had nothing to do with Kent Lepping's death.
You can call her a lying bitch, you can call her a psychopath, you can call her a sociopath, but the bottom line is, that's not who she is.
Who Michelle Lenahan really is will be at the heart of her upcoming trial.
Everybody at that point agreed that John
agreed.
Carlin pulled the trigger. The question is, what was her role?
Exactly.
If standing trial for first-degree murder has Michelle Lenahan even the slightest bit worried,
The burden of proof wasn't on me. It was on the state.
you'd hardly know it.
So I didn't feel that I had to put on a show for them. My job was to let the state present their evidence. I know I didn't mastermind this slaying.
Another jury already has convicted John Carlin of actually pulling the trigger. Now, prosecutor Pat Gullifson must convince this jury that Michelle was the mastermind, the brains behind the crime.
She didn't kill Kent, but it was her idea, her plan.
Superior Court for the State of Alaska is now in session.
If it wasn't for Michelle Linehan, Kent LePink could still be alive today. All she needed was somebody to do the dirty work, somebody to pull the trigger.
And if he can prove that, then under Alaska law, Michelle will be just as guilty of murder as if she had fired the fatal shot herself.
You have no doubt at all that Michelle planned this whole thing from start to finish.
The evidence tells me that this is a strong case.
Guilty of murder in the first degree as charged.
It's also very similar to the case against John Carlin. So similar that prosecutors will be calling many of the same witnesses. The evidence will be much of the same too. The life insurance, the Hope note, the Seychelles email, and the washing of the gun. This case seems to be not one thing, but a bunch of little things.
I don't know if they're a bunch of little things, but you're right. That's what a circumstantial case is about.
I thought there were certain, bumps and certain things that we were going to need to explain.
Defense attorneys Wayne Fricke and Kevin Fitzgerald's bigger worry is that Michelle's past will get in the way of the jury seeing what they say is the real Michelle today.
She's married to Dr. Linehan. She's a homeowner. She's a business owner. She's college educated, has her master's degree.
In other words, she's no longer that stripper, so good at getting men to do her bidding.
Here's a real person with a real life. She's got a 7-year-old daughter.
Is active in her daughter's Catholic church and Catholic school, and is active in the community.
To which prosecutors say, so what?
Underlying the whole defense was that she's a changed woman. That doesn't mean we forget about a murder that she was involved in and instrumental in committing 11 years ago. State's next witness will be Laura Aspiotis.
To keep the focus on Michelle's past, Gullifson calls another former exotic dancer, a friend from 11 years ago, Laura Aspiotis.
Did you and Michelle watch movies a lot?
Yes, we did.
And remarkably, she produces a diary in which she wrote down who watched what movie when, although her memory's a bit hazy.
February 1, you watched Grumpy Old Men.
Mm-hmm.
And half, according to your diary, half of Mr. Holland's opus, right?
Yes.
In court, Aspiotis can't find reference in the diary to the one movie she swears was Michelle's favorite, a 1994 thriller called The Last Seduction. It starred Linda Fiorentino as a femme fatale who persuades her lover to kill her husband for money and for their future.
She could tell right away that he was very naive.
I don't do murder.
Yeah, well, you would if you loved me.
I'll do it. I'll kill the bastard.
So what made you change your mind?
We're gonna have a life together, Wendy. In New York, the two of us, alone.
What was her reaction to that movie?
She told me that that was her heroine and that she wanted to be just like her.
Oh my God!
In the movie, the husband is murdered. The lover goes to jail, while the femme fatale coolly walks away with a pile of cash.
There are a lot of similarities between controlling and manipulating the relationship in this case and that movie.
And even though Laura Aspiotis' diary doesn't prove Michelle liked or even saw this movie, Pat Gullifson wants the jury to see it now.
Are we really talking about playing this movie? Come on now, come on. We can't be. But, I mean, we were.
You didn't really think the judge was going to let them watch this movie, did you?
Well, I got pretty close to convincing myself that he might.
By the time the judge rules against him, the jury knows all about the movie, and the prosecution moves on.
Our next witness will be John Carlin IV.
To its star witness, John Carlin's son, again with his startling story of seeing his father and Michelle washing a gun.
Recall smelling bleach or a similar chemical. I remember seeing Miss Hughes standing at the doorway and my father in the bathroom with a firearm in the sink in a clear liquid.
The look on his face was communicating to you what, if anything?
Don't ask questions.
I felt just heartbroken for him.
Was that before?
I think he was afraid of hurting me. He saw what had happened to his dad, and I think that it put him in a really bad position.
Mr. Carlin, that means you're finished.
All right.
But the damaging story seems a little less so when the defense points out that before his grand jury testimony, Carlin's son twice had told police his father was alone when washing the gun.
He said Michelle wasn't present, right?
That was my understanding of what he was saying, that she was in the house but not necessarily in the room.
For nearly a month, the testimony drags on.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you've given the case now before this court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Michelle made a call to the insurance company in the days before Kent died. Was that innocent
She attempted to cancel the policy.
or very calculated?
And we think that call was made to check on the insurance, not to cancel the insurance.
Did you indicate to her that Mr. LePink had died?
Yes.
And what about her reaction when police told her the news? Was she really as upset as it sounds on that tape?
When did it happen?
We don't even know that for sure.
Can't they tell?
No, they can't tell.
Did the emotional reaction of Miss Hughes, did that leave any kind of impression in your mind with regard to sincerity?
I've done a lot of death notifications and things like that, and it just seemed that it lacked a bit of sincerity.
Certainly, the jury is watching her reactions now.
I didn't want to look at the jury. If I smiled, it made me bad, and if I cried, I was guilty, or I feel like no matter what I did, it wasn't right.
She considers testifying, but her lawyers convince her she'd be eaten alive on the stand. So the defense instead calls the one person here who might know Michelle well enough
When were you married?
to make the difference.
The day after I graduated from medical school, it was May 1998.
What kind of things do the two of you enjoy to do?
Everything from watching movies, reading, going to the park with our daughter, just kind of family time.
I thought Colin was pivotal to present Michelle, to really bring her to life.
Tell me what it was like to testify.
It's horrible. Nerve-shattering, anxiety-provoking, nightmare. You know, their son is dead. You can't take back dead. I have nothing but sympathy for them. It kills me that in their hearts that they think Michelle had anything to do with that, because I know from the bottom of my heart and soul that she did not.
It hurt me so bad that somebody would think that I would do something to their child.
It's tough. Very, very tough. Hard.
Together, Kent and Betsy Lepping coped with the loss of their son for years.
I think he was being set up. With all my heart, I feel it was set up.
You have no doubt whatsoever that she was
what, the mastermind here?
I think so, yeah. That's the way I see it, yes.
This person manipulated the circumstances with her guile, with deception.
And Pat Gullifson says Hollywood couldn't have written it any better.
If she's the one who's going to write the ending to this, it's going to be just like the movie, isn't it? The problem is, you're going to write the ending, she isn't.
The movie, give me a break. I mean, that is desperation.
In closing, Kevin Fitzgerald emphasizes that there is not a shred of direct evidence against Michelle.
Conjecture, speculation, suspicion, innuendo. That's the package that the state has presented to you.
He tells the jury they can't convict on that or on Michelle Lenahan's past.
We ask that you return her to her family and to her husband and to her daughter. That you return the only true and just verdict in this case, which is to find that Mrs. Lenahan is not guilty. Thank you.
Please rise.
We've climbed a mountain in this trial, and now we wait for the answer the jury has for us.
Do you remember what was going through your mind as the jury comes filing back in?
I thought it was over.
Over in what way?
I remember thinking to myself that one way or another it was over.
For nearly 5 weeks, the jury in the Michelle Lenahan murder trial has struggled with the central question of her tangled past. Is she just a suburban mom with a heart of gold? Or a conniving ex-stripper with a heart of stone?
You may be seated.
I see from your note, but you've indicated that the jury has reached a verdict. Is that true?
It takes the jurors just 2 days to decide.
Ms. Lenahan, would you please stand while I read the verdict, and your husband may stand with you if you wish. You can come. You can stand next to her, Dr. Lenahan.
I didn't want to look at the jury. I felt uncomfortable.
I was numbed. But it wasn't really going through my mind, it was going through my heart and my soul.
We, the jury, find the defendant, Michelle K. Lenahan, guilty of murder in the first degree as charged in the indictment.
At first, it doesn't seem to sink in.
Please be seated. Counsel, do you, either of you wish to examine?
I went in that day planning to go out to dinner that night and fly home with my family.
You were able to accept what they were saying.
I don't know that I could have really accepted it, you know. I think I did the best I could.
The verdict hits Kevin Fitzgerald almost as hard.
It's a blow. It's a huge blow. Kind of rocks my world, to tell you the truth.
Presently, Ms. Lenahan, you can have one final embrace with your husband, but then I'll need to have officer separate you and take you downstairs. I'll wait until that's concluded.
To have your mom, your wife, your friend be wrongfully convicted, it's terror. It's terrifying. It's miserable. It's torture.
It amazes me that people actually, that she's able to continue to pull this off with folks.
God is good one more time. He's been good to us.
For Kent Lepping's family, the whole experience has been bittersweet.
If we could have just taken our son home with us, You know, if that would have been the prize for winning, but we can't ever do that. You know, he's still gone. He wasn't perfect, but we loved him. We love him today. We love the memory of him.
The whole thing, quite frankly, to me is very surreal.
But Michelle's ex-fiancé, Scott Hilke, thinks he has finally figured her out.
I think she's inherently evil, yes. I believe to this day that I was a mark from the get-go.
But you fell for it hook, line, and sinker.
I did indeed.
And you weren't the only one.
I'm the lucky one.
How so?
I wasn't involved in any crimes, and I'm not dead.
Hilke says he still has many unanswered questions about this case, but then so does the prosecution.
We know there was a gun. We know it went away. And we know that it belonged to John Carlin and that it was in that house.
What happened to this gun? Why has a murder weapon never been found?
That's a good question. I don't know.
But in a jailhouse interview with 48 Hours, guess who claims he does know? A gun like this
was used to shoot Kent Leppink 3 times and ultimately resulted in his death.
There's no doubt about that.
No.
That gun, a Desert Eagle, never has been found. And for years, John Carlin adamantly has denied knowing anything about it, much less owning it. But now, his memory has improved.
It was a .44.
A Desert Eagle?
Mm-hmm.
He now says he not only owned a Desert Eagle, he thinks it probably was the one used to kill Kent Leppink. Why did you lie?
Why? Because at the time they asked me, I was under scrutiny, intense scrutiny. It appeared to me that these people were coming after me. That looked very bad for me. It looked very bad for me.
He claims that sometime before Kent disappeared, the gun mysteriously vanished too, only to magically turn up in a closet after the murder.
I found that gun, no, I didn't, I'm sorry. John found that gun in the closet, and I heard Michelle yelling, "Don't touch it, don't touch it."
Carlin Sr. says he rounded the corner and came face to face with a glaring Michelle. Worried his son's fingerprints now were on the gun, he washed it. So what did you do with this gun then?
Threw it away.
Where'd you throw it?
I put it in my pants, and I got rid of it.
Where did you get rid of it, exactly?
Threw it in the dumpster.
That's quite a tale.
It's quite a tale.
If the tale is true, it still leaves a lot unanswered about Michelle. But Carlin is sure of one thing.
She didn't pull the trigger.
Who did?
Good question, but it wasn't me.
And she still seems to fascinate him.
It is indefinable. Whatever she needs to be, she is. You'll never, ever sit down and get Michelle. You never will. Not now, not 10 years from now. You will never get Michelle. You will get what she wants at that particular time to portray to you.
Prosecutor Gullifson insists he does get Michelle.
And the jury's verdict was right. She aided Carlin in doing it.
He's put Carlin in for 99 years and plans to make sure Michelle stays behind bars too.
The options up to the judge are anywhere from 10 to 99.
Said she's trying to make the best out of a bad situation. It's not easy. Her spirit should not be caged. I mean, if she's in a place she does not belong.
We talked with Michelle at Alaska's only women's prison as she awaited her sentence. I mean, a jury has given its verdict, and that's the starting point. So what other factors are there that you feel the judge should consider?
I have no criminal history. I'm not a violent person. It hurts me that the family would think that I did it. I just want to go home. I'm sorry.
But the judge sentences her to 99 years, her first chance at parole not coming until she is 68. Her family struggling to take it all in.
2 burnt peanuts, 1 apple, and that's it. It's enough dessert. Keep your head above the water and do multiple things, or you can just kind of relax and let the water enter your lungs and sink. Nope, I've got to be #1 dad and #1 husband, and all the rest can just wait. And this is Michelle. I got to get it.
He struggles to keep the family together.
Hey, sweetie, how you doing?
By phone. How often do you talk to her?
Every day. Every day.
And as long as the money holds out, by flying back to Alaska to visit Michelle in prison. Daughter in tow.
She knows who her mom is. She loves and adores her mom. And she will continue to do that.
Her family is pinning all hope on an eventual appeal.
We have not given up, and I will never give up.
I will fight as hard as I possibly can, for as long as I possibly can, until some appellate court says, bug us no more. Go away, Fitzgerald.
More than 2 years later, Michelle's attorney finally wins the fight. In February 2010, an appeals court reverses her conviction for murder because it says Kent Lepping's letter from the grave pointing the finger at her never should have been allowed into evidence.
I don't do murder.
Yeah, well, you would if you loved me.
Oh, my God!
Same with the movie, The Last Seduction, which the appeals judge says had nothing at all to do with Michelle's case.
Ms. Linehan has been given an opportunity to stand before the court, once again presumed to be innocent.
Michelle was released on bail, but prosecutors vowed to try her again, although their case is now weakened. In February 2008, John Carlin, convicted of the murder of Kent Lepping, died in a prison fight. Carlin's case was on appeal when he died, so the court threw the whole thing out.
My sense of the case with Ms. Linehan was that it was built on the foundation of John Carlin's conviction.
Now, prosecutors are not even allowed to mention Carlin ever was convicted. For the first time in 2.5 years, Michelle Linehan is on the road to what she hopes will be the beginning of a new life.
We just got into the apartment.
48 Hours was there as she took the measure of her newfound freedom.
It hasn't kicked in yet, you know? These are my conditions. It says I have to stay within the Anchorage Bowl. My curfew is 8 p.m. to 7 a.m. There's so many things to see and do.
She'll have to wear an ankle monitor to make sure she obeys all the rules.
You have to go to the bail bondsman, have a picture taken. I can't believe I'm not in prison anymore.
But Michelle worries this freedom may be fleeting.
I have so much, restored faith in people and the system. But then I don't want to be naive again. I saw what happened in the first trial. There was no way they were going to convict me. And they did. So for me to sit here now and say, there's no way, there's a way.
Ken and Betsy Lepping pray for another guilty verdict.
When you lose a child you love so very much, it never stops hurting. We'll miss Kent as long as we live.
Looking back, they still marvel at those surreal days in Alaska, at Michelle's astonishing hold on Kent, at that haunting letter predicting his own murder, naming her as a likely suspect. A letter in which he wrote, "Make sure Michelle goes to jail for a long time." But he couldn't help adding, "Tell her how much I really did love her. I really did want to marry her." And make all of her dreams come true.
Hi.
Michelle had tasted freedom.
We can talk more than 15 minutes now.
And in 2011, nearly 2 years after the court reversed her conviction, authorities dismissed her murder indictment. They could charge her again, but with a weakened case, that seems unlikely. With John Carlin's case thrown out after he was killed in prison, his son sued the state of Alaska for wrongful death. Carlin Jr. got a $160,000 settlement. Kent Lepping's father died in 2014. His mother still visits Alaska. She says it's the place where she feels closest to Kent, though she struggles with the feeling that nobody ever was really held accountable for his murder.